for this workshop. Can you guys hear me? Understand me clearly? Yes, we're good? Okay. Like she said, I am Jazmin Turley. I have a lot of titles. I'm a mom, business partner, wife. I've been in marketing. I've been in content creation. I've been in postpartum work. I am a big nerd when it comes to what they do around the world with women's health, even ancestrally. I don't know if you guys have seen the show New Girl. Have you guys seen the show New Girl? Okay, thank God. Okay, you know Wisdome, he has like a prank and he does like nothing or goes too far. That is literally me nerding out on ancient practices for women. I'm a big nerd about it. I just dive deep and I'm like, I think I just spent my whole life just reading and the kids just watch Netflix, it's fine. So, Reclaiming Postpartum Wisdome. In your workbooks, under my section, you guys have a very in-depth postpartum plan, and it goes from things from your movement, connecting with your partner, meal trains, and everything. What I'm going to do today, because there's so many people in different stages, some just had a baby, some are pregnant, some are done and need closure, and some are still just planning. And so, instead of sitting here and having everybody fill it out, these are going to be gentle guidelines to help you guys get into the right headspace and make educated and informed decisions with your partner or just yourself on your postpartum plan. This flies in my face. During my presentation, I'll be going over the 5 pillars of postpartum recovery and what they do universally around the world. And my hope really for you as I go around and do a fun thing where we learn about what other cultures do is that you guys learn that there's always an opportunity to bring sacredness into your life wherever you are in whatever stage, and that, like Laura said, sometimes things are hard and sometimes we don't like motherhood, but at the same time we're obsessed with our babies, and that's okay. It's a special space, and it's just we need to make the space to honor that and feel every emotion. Okay. I'm going to read this quote, but first I'm going to tell you what I want to say about it because the quote, you can't see it. Sorry guys, my bad. So in the book, The Fourth Trimester, I don't know if you guys have read it. It's a really good book. There's very little books on the postpartum period, so this is one of the ones I do recommend. Kimberly reminds us that how today is the most complex time to be not only a woman, but a mother. If you think about it, we literally can be all over anywhere in the world in less than 2 days. We can be CEOs while being stay-at-home moms. We can FaceTime with anybody and see their face in a matter of seconds. So if your family's in a different country, you literally can talk to them face-to-face. My brothers are in Quebec, so that's crazy. And yet, even as women, we have the most freedom. We're suffering more than ever. And so, and that's just something that I want to touch base on, is that this quote shares this perfectly. The theme I want to surround this workshop is it says, we have started to believe that technology is more trustworthy and reliable than nature. We have become accustomed to a level of convenience that makes any discomfort seem abnormal. We are being conditioned to feel huge amounts of stimuli, whether it's on your phone, social media, you name it. And that makes the pace of nature seem painfully slow. We are used to having what we want the moment we want it. And that's kind of true. We just kind of have this give and take relationship nowadays. Before I go into the 5 pillars, I want to think about this idea of being self-sufficient. Would somebody in the audience share with me what they think of when they hear the word self-sufficient when it comes to motherhood?
I don't think this is right, but when I think of self-sufficiency, I think of like not having to rely on people, like, which is wrong, but that's, I think, my initial thought is like, I can do this on my own.
Sorry. I can do this on my own, I don't need help, like, kind of thing, which, I don't know, that's just my initial thought, but it's not right.
No, it's 100% right. That is exactly what being self-sufficient is. And let me be very frank with you guys, when it comes to life,
whether you're a man or a woman, but especially motherhood, like Maddie gave the definition so perfectly, thank you. When it comes to the idea of being self-sufficient, we should just erase that out of our dictionary. It should not exist when it comes to motherhood. I, for example, am not self-sufficient. I could not be here today speaking with all of you if it wasn't for my mother coming in and taking over my kids. I could have not done the million things on my to-do list if it wasn't for my friend Maddie taking my kids at a moment's notice. I cannot fully educate my kids if my teachers didn't help, or sometimes my kids are sick and a doctor steps in and helps. I am not self-sufficient. And I want to drive that through in your mind even more. If you look at nature, nature itself is showing us that we're a greater part of the whole. We are not self-sufficient. If you look at the sunflower, this is a pretty picture of a mom and a baby in the sunflower field, and you guys can't see it, I'm sorry. But if you look at the flower, flowers aren't self-sufficient. They need the bees, they need the water, they need the pollen as much as they need the grass. And nature itself shows us that we're a greater part of the whole and that we need each other. We need our healers, we need our therapists, we need our community, we need our friends, we just need everybody. And for some reason during this postpartum time, we're always feeling isolated, like I mentioned, when we have the most freedom as a woman. So keep that in mind, that we just need to erase the idea of becoming self-sufficient. Okay, so power in postpartum planning. If you guys open up your book, there's a postpartum plan like I mentioned before. Why do we have a postpartum plan? It's just going to happen. This is something we're going to grin and bear through, right? If you think about it, a lot of us plan for our births. It's both daunting and exciting, and sometimes our doctors and medical providers even hop in and help us. And we plan it all, even when birth can honestly go unexpected. It's really hard to plan for it, but yet we plan for it because the power is in educating ourselves and the empowerment we get through it. Imagine how different we would be as a society if we put that much dedication into postpartum. Instead of worrying about all the cute moccasins, we focused on what kind of meals do I need? What makes me feel comforted? Is it a warm friend giving me coffee? Is it laundry? Not that I've ever touched my friend and said she's warm, but like, you know what I mean, like a warm presence. So the power of postpartum planning is basically just giving you the right headspace to empower yourself and your partner and start these open dialogues. And heaven forbid, if things go not according to plan, you guys are in the right headspace and know who to talk to just pivot and adjust and go for plan B. And that's always okay. Do not feel like anything's wrong if you need to just pivot. I'm always pivoting in my life, and it's just part of my journey. So, I'm going to pass this around. Sorry, I had planned to do it before. Just take 2 strips of paper and just a glue stick per table. And I will, oh, thank you. I'm so sorry. Just know she's handing that out and I'll tell you why. Okay. So, with everything that we're going to learn today about postpartum, whether it's mental health from Laura, recovery and practices around the world from me, breastfeeding from Japan, and thriving with your newborn, I want you guys to imagine it of being like this golden rope of knowledge. And every little thing that you learn, every little tip, is a different thread into it, and you're just braiding this golden rope. And so, just keep that in mind. I'm a very artistic person, and I am a very visual person, so that helps me memorize and remember things and seeing the significance of it. The golden rope of postpartum is currently being threaded through grandmotherly customs, and it's being done behind closed doors. It's the traditions and care that is passed on from abuela to granddaughter, or from midwife to client, or from neighbor to friend. It's really hard to find this kind of care, and so if you realize that it's a golden rope of just tender care, meals, and laundry, and just a friend giving you a shoulder to cry on, we just see how significant this rope is. As you guys are getting your sheets of paper, as I do my workshop, sorry guys, ESL problems. I want you guys to grab your paper, and if you guys have like an epiphany or a word of encouragement you want to give to another mother, or just something like, oh my gosh, that was cool, or something like maybe you just need to get something off your chest that was about your own postpartum journey, just write it on a piece of paper right here. And then grab the glue, and I just want you guys, while I present, make your golden thread. And then when you have yours all linked up, link it up with your neighbors, and we're just all going to create our own golden threads of postpartum wisdom. So it's just a fun little craft while we do it. Did that make sense? Yeah? Good job. Okay. I love crafts, sorry. I'm that mom. Yeah. Okay. So, I want you guys, as you guys are threading your rope, guys, I can't talk today. I want you guys to see how far this expands. This rope has no limit. It goes beyond time, beyond space, and distance. I'm going to go over, like I said, I geek out over different countries and what they do postpartum. And I want you guys to make a mental note about some commonalities that you see in it. And these can, if you see a commonality in a aha moment, write them down on your golden thread. So I'm going to start with Latin America. There are different kinds of postpartum doulas. I am a cuarentena doula. I'm originally from Costa Rica. And this is a beautiful and sacred practice that's helped me connect with my heritage and learn about my matriarchal line and healing. I don't know, I just got emotional. Anyways, sorry. In Latin America, cuarentena is a play on words on the number 40, cuarenta, and quarantine. And basically what that means is that they honor the mother during those 40 days. Her family moves in, and they bind her, they bathe her, they feed her, they make sure she's warm. She can't go around barefooted. You have to wear socks the moment you have your baby. And they just take over with warm meals such as atole, olla carne, and all these beautiful things. And they do beautiful closing of the bone ceremony. It's being lost today, but I'm doing my darndest to bring it back. And they do, at closing of the bone ceremony, they address the mother and they just take care of her for the 40 days. Okay, if you speak Chinese and you guys can pronounce this better than I can, raise your hand. Nobody? Okay, don't get offended. If you're virtual, I'm so sorry. So in China, they do this beautiful tradition called Zhou Yatsai. And basically, they also have kind of this top level approach as well, where the mother cannot leave her house for an extended period of time. And they prefer and don't let the mothers take showers because they prefer having a warm sponge bath instead. And others, their family and their friends, come in and take over the mother's responsibility so she can rest and bond with her baby. This term, Zhu Yatsi, is often referred, and another word that they use for the word gateway, which is basically their representation of the threshold before the first part of life, before the baby, and after they have the baby. And they say that the sacred time is the sacred threshold. And even in traditional Chinese medicine, doctors, they say if a woman ignores this postpartum care, she's going to have a disbalance of yin deficiency. She's going to have a yin deficiency and experience things such as insomnia, excessive night sweats, anxiety, hair loss, and headaches. And yin is their belief of feminine energy, just like yang is masculine energy. Interesting, right? Who hasn't experienced postpartum hair loss? Maybe they're onto something, right? Right? I saw him and was like, I have a feminine deficiency? That's why I'm going bald? I'm postpartum, kind of ish. I just turned a year old. But still, I just shaved my hair off because I was at that point. Native Americans, they believe ceremony is key. They even have a customary lying-in period, and they do a ritualistic bathing and even a ceremony to name the baby. When I was pregnant with my first ever baby shower, my mom was like geek up out of this stuff, and she had this friend who was Native American, and she came and she asked them that for my baby shower, instead of doing baby shower games, if she can educate us on their traditions. And they believe that when the baby laughs for the first time, that's when the baby receives the soul. And that whoever made them laugh gets to throw a family a big feast to welcome the baby's soul in. And I thought that was so beautiful. Guys, can you imagine, Thanksgiving dinner, the baby just smiled, come on over. I thought that was so cool. And they also send the mother to a sweat lodge so that heat can help with her circulation and healing. In Korea, they have something called Sanshayo, which is a protocol that lasts about 21 to 30 days. And it's that same approach where they keep mom warm, they keep mom snug, and they keep mom filled. They have this traditional seaweed food that are filled with a ton of nutrients called miyokgok soup, and they ban icy foods from the mother's diet. And something I thought that was really cool is that when the baby turns 100 days old, they finally introduce the baby to the extended family. And when they do that, they throw a party for the mother, kind of like a fourth trimester graduation, to celebrate the mother and the baby once they turn 100 days old. Cool, huh? It's like a postpartum shower. In India, I thought this was really cool. When you have your baby, you don't go home, you move back into your mother's home, your matriarchal's line. So I would go move back in with my mom for 3 months, and she would just take care of me for 3 months. She feeds me, she bathes me, the whole family moves in, and they just take shifts on making sure that I'm taken care of. And they practice this beautiful ancient healing practice called Ayurveda. And isn't that so cool? I wish I could live with my mom for 3 months. Again, her food is amazing. So what are some takeaways? What are some commonalities that you guys saw? Does anybody want to share? Shout it out.
That a lot of the it's 30 days or more.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, when I got my baby 3 months, I took, honestly, in my mental state, I gotta go do this. There's family events. They want to meet my baby, and all I wanted to do was just sit at home. And my extended family, my in-laws, kept asking me, "Are you okay? You seem really..." And I was like, I was going through all, and it probably would have been better to not go and do all those things. And so next time I have a baby, and my cute sister over here, I'm like, don't do anything you don't want to do. Just stay home.
Literally, just stay home.
If you don't want to go out.
Yes.
And I was like, I will go to her to take care of her. And that's
beautiful.
I was like, it's kind of amazing. I'm sitting there going, yes, I want this. I'm living in the wrong country.
Right? I was like, why did we move here, Mom? Like, I guess Costa Rica was too exotic, so Utah worked? I don't know.
Yeah, it's so much love.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so I want you guys to think of this as you thread your golden rope. All of these cultures, they insist on surrendering responsibilities and rest and recovery. They all teach us a good takeaway that I got from it, that I am so sorry, I'm in charge of design and you can't see that, and that was my fault. Online it looks super cute and aesthetic though, so screenshot that. But basically, they teach us that the act of receiving and asking for help can help us open up so we can fully receive help without giving everything away from ourselves. Okay, and that leads me to the elements of the five elements of postpartum wisdom and healing that you see universally in books. It's incredible what they do, and then it's sometimes hard thinking like, hey, what do we do here? Why didn't I get that care? And I just want you guys to know, as I go through these elements, I want you guys to take these as gentle guidelines. Don't feel guilty that you're like, I'm gonna go back to work in 2 weeks because I didn't have maternity leave. Like, don't feel guilty that you weren't able to rest. You do the best with what you can. Your best days are your best days. Jatam once explained this perfectly. It's like, if your best day was like Netflixing with the kids all day because you just needed to survive, you are a great mother. So I want you guys to take these as gentle guidelines, pass them on, and take them from yourself, and just, if you can adapt them in your life, wonderful. But if you can't, don't feel that guilt and pressure either, because that is something I want to stay far, far away from. I just wanted to think, what if we looked at these different cultures and like creative eyes and figured out how can we adapt these into our own lives, obviously without appropriating their culture, but how can we bring in these grandmotherly customs of our heritage back into our healing, and how can that empower our healing as well? So in several books, they have 5 commonalities. And the 5 common elements are honoring your sanctuary, your warmth, your rest, and support, and ritual. These elements are very, very important to our modern day women as well in our recovery. And this is how we can honor these ancient practices and that are done all over the world through the longest time, is by honoring these things. As you fill out your postpartum plan, keep these as guidelines, like I mentioned before, and this just helps you get into the right headspace to plan. Honor your sanctuary. Okay, when you guys hear the word sanctuary, I'm sorry I'm talking to you guys so much. I'm very conversational. What do you guys think of when you hear the word sanctuary? Safe. Yes, thank you. Safe. I love that. I was giving an example to my mom, and I was like, it's Quasimodo and the Notre Dame asking for sanctuary, safety, you know? But yeah, anyways, sorry. So basically, sanctuary, a good rule of thumb that I learned from the book, The First 40 Days, is basically when you grab the circumference of your life and your world and you just bring it in. Just imagine it like you sucking in this bubble and bringing it back home. And basically what it means is don't isolate yourself, don't do a mom isolation, but be very intentional into the energy that you want to bring into your life. Be very intentional to who you ask for help and what you need and what makes you feel cared for. A lot of people are like, okay, well, I'm going to have my aunt there for 2 weeks, so we're covered. And they're like, okay, well, what does that look like? Does it look like her doing laundry? Does it look like them cooking food? Do you want them vacuuming? No. Nobody touches my laundry. And you're like, okay, well then let them know ahead of time that when they're there, exactly what you want them to do to feel supported. When we honor our sanctuary, we truly honor ourselves and the need for staying in. Somehow we've strayed far, far away from this idea of lying in and me thinking that the better mom is the mom who bounced back in her Lululemons 3 weeks after her baby and is doing yoga and running a 5K and posting on Instagram #baby body. And you're like, and then you just feel guilty and bad because you're like, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. There's not a right or wrong way, but I just say there's so much empowering in just lying in and being in your home. And don't feel like you need to bounce back because it just helps you give this safe space in your home to recover and honestly honor the time it takes to get to know your baby and get used to life with the baby. And then in your workbook, on the section 3 on manifesting a positive postpartum, on the end it gives you some questions to fill out about visitors and accepting help. And also on the last page in your worksheets, there's questions on planning visitors and what you'd like them to do and how long they want to be there. And also keep in mind, we always get through the first week. If people want to come see the baby, then they disappear. And you're like, oh, snap. Things are getting real. Check up on your mothers. I had a friend who, she worked down the street and randomly 3 weeks, 4 weeks postpartum, she would just knock on the door and drop off a Starbucks and say, how are you? I can't hang out, but I wanted to give you this coffee. Are you okay? And that literally saved my life, knowing that somebody out there was looking out for me. A good way to honor your sanctuary is this 5x5 rule of thumb. 5. That is recommended by a lot of midwives that I've seen. And basically it's 5 days in bed, 5 days on bed, and 5 days near bed. That's 15 weeks. That is 1 day more than 2 weeks. It's nothing. And so I feel like if you at least honor this helps out a lot. But again, if you can't, because of life, that's okay. So 5 days in bed. So basically the first 5 days, think about it. Your baby's never going to be 5 days old ever again. They grow so fast. Just do everything you can in bed. Do the skin to skin. Just bond with them. Get to know their cues. Practice breastfeeding. And just lie in. And know that everything that you should be doing should just be in your bed. So if somebody's telling you get up, you're like, no, you come to me or you roll my bed to the kitchen. You roll my bed to where I need it. And I know it's hard with kids. And so like just transition to the couch, but just know that the first 5 days, try your best to like lie down. This includes the first couple of days you're in the hospital, or just bringing your kids into bed. It's like, we're doing life in bed, TV's on, here's the pizza rolls, we're just gonna bond. And yeah, so just 5 days in bed, and just enjoy their smallness. It's really hard, like I said, like Laura said, there's a lot of emotions, and it's just holding space for the hard and the good emotions, especially after just having a baby. 5 days on bed. So what does that mean? So that's a little bit more mobility. You're out and about a little bit more, but the most of the time is you're still on the couch, you're still on the bed, and remember, you're still recovering and you're going to be up all night still. Babies don't like to sleep. Stay in your PJs, stay in your loungewear, be topless so the baby can eat easier. Do whatever you want, but just know that you're just going to be staying in your bed and you're not going to overexhaust yourself. And again, do a lot of skin to skin. And then 5 days near bed. Guys, 5 days is nothing. It's not even Monday through Sunday. It's Monday through Friday. It's nothing. Think about it like, try to spend like half the day in bed and half the day out and about, but don't overexert yourself. If you want to feel like, I don't know, I'm always working on projects, and so if I'm sitting still, I'm like, I need to feel productive. Go organize the bills, but don't go mow the lawn or vacuum. If you need to get fresh air, something I'd love to do is I literally got camping chairs for my postpartum period, and I would just lay out back. And I would just sit there and do skin to skin and absorb the sun and let my kid terrorize the neighborhood. And that allowed me to rest, get some sun, and just do that. So just be flexible. If you're like, I can't be indoors all the time, ask for a camping chair. Post in the Facebook marketplace, be like, postpartum mom, really needing a camping chair, SOS, this is my address. Thank you. I'll thank you with happy tears. So yeah, just think about it like that, and again, remember, you're gonna be up all night, so be easy on yourself. You guys are gonna have to get on the Facebook group and screenshot this, but Kimberly Johnson wrote this very well-written sign for your door that you just print out and put it on your door, and that just lets guests know your expectations of when they come and visit you. And it literally just says, thank you for coming and visiting me. A short stay is welcomed to honor my nurture and my rest. We receive any kind of help, whether it's small or big. The mom might want a meal, some laundry folded, a hug, or even the opportunity to take a shower. Thank you for respecting our wishes. Can you imagine if people like knocked on your door and just read that? Like, it just sets the tone, and it's a nice way to set those boundaries early on in a very polite way, especially when you're sleep deprived. And I don't know about you, but I get kind of snappy when like I just had a baby and somebody's like, well, where's my meal? And I'm like, I'm in an adult diaper. I'm not going to make you a meal. Like, where's my meal? So this is a nice way just to set this tone in a very nice way that won't offend either party. Hopefully, not on my. Okay, honor your warmth. Okay, so warmth. So warmth ensures that your body absorbs the nutrients and the circulation needed for healing. And my cards are backwards because I want to make sure I give you guys the right information. So, how many of you guys experienced the postpartum cramping after you had your baby? They're uncomfortable, right? But they're serving a purpose. Almost immediately after you give birth, your placenta pulls away, and then you pass it through. Regardless if you do a C-section or a vaginal birth, you need to take out the placenta. And once the placenta is out of your body, the reason why your uterus is cramping is because it's helping seal the blood vessels where it used to be attached. I should have grabbed a plate. Okay, so think of this. It's about 8.5 diameters wound externally like that. You'd be on bed rest. You'd be recovering. But we are, like you said, we feel like we have to entertain people, we have to bounce back, we have to do all these things, and you can't do it for yourself. Do it for the physical recovery because you have a wound inside your womb, inside of you, that is that big. And so a lot of people think, oh, this is the longest period of my life. It's your lochia, it's your body trying to heal and recover because that placenta detached and your body is trying to heal that. The reason I bring that up when it comes to warmth is because cold causes stagnation, and so when you have warmth in your postpartum plan, it's going to help with circulation. So some things you can do prenatally is pack a beanie, pack your favorite hoodie, pack your favorite quilt socks, and just be as warm as you can as soon as you have your baby to preserve that warmth and help that circulation. You lost a lot of fluids, you lost a lot of blood. And then one easy way, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys can't even read that, again, so sorry. Another good way to honor warmth is by gentle, nurturing foods. People always offer us, what can I bring you? And more often than not, we're like, I don't know. And they bring us food that we don't realize that is kind of taking away from our healing and causing our body to overexert to digest those foods instead of using that food to heal that wound. So, in the book, The First 40 Days by Hank Wu, she comes up with these beautiful dental food guidelines, and there are, think soft. When you think of postpartum foods, especially the first couple of days, think things like soups, oatmeals, things that are soft and warm to even digest. Because, I'm sorry guys, if you guys don't want to hear this, but your first postpartum poop, sometimes it's worse than childbirth itself. Like, I remember when I was pregnant with my second, I was just dreading that. Like, I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm still 6 months pregnant. Like, why am I getting anxiety over this? It sucks. Eat warm and gentle foods, and that will help, and it'll be easy to digest than a cold cut sandwich or that celebratory steak that they like to add to your bill when your insurance comes in. And you're like, that was a $50 steak? You look like the Lunchable. Anyways. Next to cold, like I said, cold stagnates circulation, so that's including the food. Welcome warmth into your food. And then honor and love your fats. We never hear this, but love your healthy fats, like your omega fatty fats. That's also known as DHEA, and these are basically essential to your nervous system development. So studies shows that when you breastfeed and are honoring your healthy fats, that helps your baby's brain grow and thrive. Observe how your food might affect your baby, but don't obsess over it. It's really hard, especially if you're prone to anxiety. I have hardcore anxiety. But a good rule of thumb that I tell people is just to relax, eat your food, and just observe, pivot, and adjust, and just be easy on yourself. And then let your village cook. Accept all the meal trains. Even if it's past the 2 weeks postpartum, if you're like, hey, I'm on postpartum, I would love your chili. Hint, hint, like, bring it. So let your village cook. I feel super bad that you guys can't see this, but it's on your Facebook group. And these are from different books that I've gathered, just different things you can buy for your postpartum pantry. My recommendation is to screenshot it if you can, or make a list. But don't go out and buy these foods that you don't know how to cook or won't ever eat. Just find on the list little things that you're like, oh, I already eat avocados, I already eat blueberries, I'm gonna buy that for postpartum because they go help with the nurturing and healing. And so I'm just gonna go over a few. So for fruits and vegetables, I'm a huge avocado fan, and it helps in postpartum because they're an excellent source of polyunsaturated fats, which means that it's the kind of fat that your body absorbs as soluble vitamins that feed your brain and assist your nervous system. And you pass it on when you breastfeed. So isn't that cool? Eat your avocados, guys. Nuts, grains, and seeds, these are very good. I love blending oats when I visit my postpartum clients for Turley because it helps with breast milk production. But with almonds in particular, since that's a popular snack, if you are able to eat nuts and if your baby can tolerate nuts, they're rich in protein, they contain calcium and magnesium, and they're also very anti-inflammatory, which is really good. Some sweeteners, local raw honey, coconut sugar, stevia. Raw honey, if you are able to take it, and again, if it's safe for your baby, as you breastfeed, don't give it to your baby. That's not safe. Listen to your pediatricians. Essential nutrients. They have the essential nutrients, but they're also medicine, and they also are a natural antibiotic, antifungal, and antiviral. So that's really good too. And then, like I said, honor your fats. Take them in. Some beverages and liquids, like I mentioned before, I do cuarentena, and I love to give my clients atole, which is a very sweet and warm drink that they drink in Latin America that is almost kind of like a oatmeal custardy kind of flavor and stuff, but if you make it from scratch with raw cinnamon and the raw sugar cane and the oats, it's really easy to make, but that helps your blood sugar stay level so you won't have that sugar peak, but the oats in it help your breast milk produce. So if you guys are pregnant and want me to bring you some after you have a baby, I will. And they keep you warm because it's a warm drink, so it serves a lot. Spices and herbs. Some good herbs are ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, even teas, like a nettles tea is known as a kidney tonic that helps create iron in your blood. So that's really good as well. Screenshot this on the Facebook group or in your email, but here is a letter for meal train participants that let them know, like, what do you want me to bring? Just print these out, fill it out, and just hand them out like business cards. And it says, thank you for bringing me food and offering. I'm honoring my 555 rules of staying in and nurturing my baby. We would love to spend 15 to 20 minutes with you to visit, and if you want to help, great. These are foods that I love. These are foods that I don't like. These are my allergies. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Because in that way, they know what to work with, you know? It's really hard to, like, hey, she didn't say what she wanted, and, like, wonder if she hated your lasagna. Like, so, honor your support. I feel like this one can kind of be a difficult topic because sometimes we feel like, not only that we feel like, but sometimes the reality is that we don't have a support system. And so again, be gentle with yourself. If this brings up some hard emotions, I 100% understand that. I've been there and I felt that. So yeah, let's talk about support systems. And it goes back to the metaphor of the bee and the flower and not being self-sufficient, mixing that out of our vocabulary. So support, receive help from your village so you can fully give to your baby. Like I said, a lot of us might not have a support system, a lot of us might not have a motherly figure, but I'm just here to tell you today that today you have me, you have Ricky, you have Laura, and you have Dutem, and you have all of these amazing providers that are here because they genuinely want to be an extension of your village. So know that we can't replace a motherly figure, but we can be there to wipe tears, whether it's for you or your baby. And we are there to listen, and we are there to not even give advice, just holding space for you and offering any resources that you might need, no matter where you are in your journey. In different cultures, they host post-birth circles to help the mom's inner emotional stability and also the family's outer emotional stability. And again, realize that no chore is too humble, whether it's picking up after the dog, after the kids, cooking, diapers, and like I said, wiping tears, whether they're yours or your baby. There's no chore too humble. I always like to point out, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I'm a huge Cancer and a huge empath, and that probably means nothing, you guys, but imagine how you feel when somebody asks you for help. Do you feel excited? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go visit her and I'm gonna take care of her kids, or we're just gonna hang out. Offer that opportunity for that person to feel that same emotion that you do when you have that opportunity to serve to somebody else. And realize that when you don't ask for help, you're also deserving them from experience that. And it helps them learn that they too can have the permission to ask for help as well, and it just keeps going, kind of like a ripple effect. I want to do an activity with you guys. If you guys open to your first page of tapping in with your inner wise woman. Okay. Again, this is a safe space. I'm going to just guide you through a really quick, just kind of like meditative thought work. We are here to hold space if it does bring some hard emotions and you need a space to breathe or whatever. We understand that and we honor that, and we also have space outside in our mother's room and even in our kitchen. The first thing is, I want you guys to just close your eyes, if you can. And I want you guys to think about what would it feel like if you had everything set up for postpartum. What would it feel like if you had the meals delivered, if you were able to rest? What would it feel like to know that you're doing an amazing job and that every day is the best day and that you're the most perfect mother that your kid can have? Okay, I'm going to open my book because I can't read my slides. Okay, I just want you guys to visualize that and see how that feels emotionally, mentally. Okay. Then I want you guys to open your eyes, and I want you guys to reflect on this vision of what that would look like. And you guys have little spaces to fill out here if you would like. And then, because I don't want to go over time, because lunch is amazing, I want you guys to close your eyes again. Sorry, ignore the journaling. And think about what thoughts are preventing you from receiving or asking for help. Does the thought of asking for help make you feel Does the thought of asking for help make you feel uncomfortable? Or does it make you feel empowered or hopeful? And then I want you to start thinking and replacing these thoughts that are taking you away from accepting help and replacing them with thoughts of what thoughts can you have that will embrace you from being fully supported postpartum, whatever that may look like. And you guys can open your eyes whenever, and when I see you guys are ready, you guys can journal about it now or later, but I just want you guys to be aware that we're here for you, and sometimes we have thoughts that prevent us from asking for help. Sometimes it's our ego, sometimes it's just traumas we felt, sometimes it's just our experiences. And sometimes in our society, like we said, it's hard to find a postpartum tradition here, and we're so hell-bent on bouncing back and trying to be everything for everybody that it gets in the way from us being able to hold space for us to ask for help. So I just want you guys to practice that and be mindful of that. That support can literally just be asking your 2-year-old to hold your hand. Like that might sound cheesy, but sometimes like just having that physical presence in front of you. Okay, and then like I said, you can, sorry, I get emotional so easy. Anyways, you can widen your tribe of support by talking to everybody. Like I mentioned before, I wish I had a Valerie in my life a year ago. My labor and delivery was less than 2 hours long, and I think my pelvis is broken and I get it now. And I can barely walk straight to this day. And so I wish I knew about people like that to add to my support instead of thinking I had to grin and bear it. And so realize that you have a tribe of support. You have Bodhi Birth here with yoga, you have United Angels, you have Baby We're in Utah, you have Welcome Baby, New Beginnings, Bloom, the Healer, I can go on and on. There's so many people here that genuinely are so excited just to connect with you, not from a business to business transaction, but because they really want to connect to you at a soul level and help you. And I truly believe that. Okay, honor your best. This one's easier said than done. I remember people saying, nap on the baby naps, and that was the last thing I did. Now I wish I napped when the baby napped. But basically the biggest misperception that we have about health today is how much we underestimate the need for rest and recovery. Just like Laura mentioned, there's pillars of good health, and sleep isn't a pillar, it's foundational. It is the foundation for good health. And so make sure you try to make time for rest. And in your postpartum plan, it even gives you time that if you do have a partner or a support system, try to schedule in naps and say, I would really like you to take over the baby. I don't care if the house is messy, I just need 10 minutes. Also, rest can look like self-care and doing something for yourself that can really recharge you and spruce up what gives you life and light that fire within you. And please know that self-care is not selfish, and there's no right or wrong way to do self-care. I wanted to do this quick activity with you guys. There's some blank note pages after Ricky's worksheets, and I want you guys to write down really quickly just some self-care ideas that you have. What are some things that you've always wanted to do? Even if it's like, I would like to sit in the bathroom for 10 minutes without kids' fingers poking underneath it. Like, there's not a right or wrong way. And just jot them down, brainstorm it. Here's some good ideas. I'll read some. Get 20 minutes of sunshine. Wash your face. Take a nap. Aromatherapy, essential oils. Getting a haircut. Going on a walk out in nature. Making a puzzle. Relaxing in a bath. Going to visit a friend. And as you guys write those down, I want you guys to circle the ones that speak to you and that give you life, but also honor the stage that you are in your life. What are these self-care things can I do my first 5 days? Is it a warm bath? What are self-care things I can do in 2 weeks? Is it going on a nice stroll in nature? And I just want to challenge you guys that no matter where you are in your journey, to try to take 5 minutes in your time to prioritize yourself and make that time just for self-care, even if it's just sitting in your room and meditating quietly to yourself. This can be very restful and also recharge you as a mother and as a person. Honor your ritual. What do you guys think of when you hear the word ritual? Super curious.
Like my skincare, what I do morning and night for my ritual.
I love that. She said that her skincare routine. It's like, I love that. Yeah, your ritual is something that you do to honor yourself. So you do that to honor yourself every day and just to take care of yourself. When it comes to postpartum, I think it's very important to just do a ritual. It doesn't have to be outside howling to the moon. When I think about it, it's just make space within the first year or even after your baby turns a year to honor everything you just went through. A lot of cultures hold a postpartum ritual that honor the mom's journey that she just went through. For example, if I'm not mistaken, Korea, they had that 100-day party for the mom to celebrate the baby. And other places, they do customary traditions to honor the mom as she goes through her threshold. I think acknowledging the mother and her story helps her understand the greater picture of life and why things worked out the way they did, even if they were really hard. And it helps give you closure. One way of honoring a ritual that I like to point out is how you tell your birth story. I'm not saying go out and post it on social media, but maybe writing your birth story or your postpartum story in your journal. And if you had a traumatic birth or postpartum, find a counseling or a therapist service that you can talk through those emotions and honor everything you felt and walk through it. We have the beautiful Rising Phoenix podcast where they hold space for mothers every week just to share their stories. And even listening to those stories help us acknowledge our stories and understand that we're not alone and we're a greater part of the whole. And it helps process emotions, and that counts for self-care too. Like I mentioned before, I know it's really hard to honor your postpartum period, especially as this busy woman. I have a hard time just chilling out. A lot of people tell me that my life overwhelms me, and I just function at this go, go, go level, and that's how I am. And so I understand it's hard to slow down and just lie in and to take time for yourself. Especially when we live in a day and age where like mothers are creatively like, okay, I'm sick day here, I have a vacation day here, and I need to figure out my maternity leave somehow. You know, like sometimes we don't have those 40 and 30 days. So I just really want to dive deep into it and just give yourself grace. However your postpartum period looks like, don't compare it, don't feel like you need to bounce back, just honor yourself. I presented this to my mom last night and I bawled during the slide, so please be patient with me. 9 days ago on Instagram, both on my personal page, Women & Co, and on the business page, The Time I Run, The Postpartum Revolution, I asked you guys to fill in the blank. Postpartum is. And you guys literally had me ugly crying all day. Like worse than Kim Kardashian and Emma Stone ugly crying. Like it was bad. And because I was just so touched and so moved by your guys' vulnerability, because you guys say, postpartum is messy, it's not spoken of, it's hard, I'm terrified of it, and that's why I don't have kids. It's painful, and it's so hard. And I was crying because a lot of the responses were from you guys that are here today. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna breathe. Because even though it's super hard and it's emotional, you guys took the time to invest into your recovery. And I think I'm just so humbled by you guys that you guys, as hard as it was, you guys decided to show up for yourselves and for your children and for your journey. And I think that is so incredible. And I'm just so thankful to talk to you guys today. That's my TED Talk. Thank you, guys. These are the flags, and I'm so proud. Thank you.